Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Amy Crane, Social Lab Marketing. So excited to have you guys here with me today. So welcome. If this is your first time, welcome back. If you've joined me before, here's the deal. We've got 30 minutes. I'm here every Tuesday at 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific. So answering all of your questions about Facebook advertising and online marketing. This week, I'm really excited though, you guys, because I've got a special guest. My good friend Trajan King from Invincible Startup is here, and he is going to talk about lead funnels and email marketing. So if you haven't met Trajan yet, we've done a couple webinars together. Super awesome guy. He really, really knows his stuff. He started 15 businesses. He's worked in Silicon Valley, Wall Street, and he's worked and consulted for companies like eBay, Apple, and Yahoo. So he knows his stuff, and he's an awesome guy. Really excited to have him here. So if you haven't checked out his email list, if you're not in his Facebook community, definitely recommend checking that out. I'll share the link with you guys. He's got an amazing Facebook community full of entrepreneurs, business owners, startup companies, people doing some really cool, amazing things. And I can tell you, if you've got questions, Trajan's got the answer. And if he doesn't, he knows somebody that does. So really excited to have him here. Trajan, I'm going to turn it over to you so we can talk about email marketing and lead funnels.
Okay, thanks for the introduction. That made me sound really cool. So I like that. So I'm really glad to be here as a guest on this webinar. So I'd like to know a little bit about who is listening. So if you can go over to the chat and let us know what industry you're working in, what your business is, and where you are, then Amy and I have an idea of who's listening. I like to know what the audience is and so I can tailor some of my things. Especially if you have an e-commerce site, I'd like to know. And if you have any questions, then type those into the chat, and we'll go through those at the end of the presentation. So we're going to talk about. I've got some slides to share, but before I switch over to the slides, I want to talk about a couple of stats that I think are companies tip dollars per person to bring a customer to their website, or a potential customer, but only one person, $1 to convert them. So that's why it's important to build a lead funnel that captures information so you can focus on increasing the conversions, and a lead funnel that builds credibility and builds your brand so they can get to know who you are and what your company is all about. So you can take them from a cold lead to a warm lead to a hot lead, and somebody who is going to buy something from you, and then become a raving fan and share what you have with other people. That's the ultimate customer you want, is somebody who is going to talk about you, and when somebody mentions your company, that they have a great experience and they're going to share it with somebody else. So there are a lot of different ways to get leads, and if you're familiar with Amy, what she does with Facebook ads, that's a great way to get leads with targeted ads, retargeted ads. You can capture people onto your email list. A few things that people often forget is to focus on what happens after they get to the website. We spend a lot of time and money getting people to our websites with SEO. We do a lot of social media, but most companies fail to really optimize the people that are on their website by capturing their email addresses, getting their interest, turning them into fans, and then once they buy, the follow-up sequence of sending them the product, sending them a thank you note or a gift, tracking their shopping cart abandonment. So there are a lot of processes from when they first ever hear about you, to warming them up, to getting them onto your list, and having them buy a product, and then having them share that product. And we're going to go through some of those steps. So before I get into that content, I'm just looking at some of the stuff. You get a lot of cool stuff. Life empowerment coach, some Chamber of Commerce, a mobile app development, an ebook, so online guitar lessons, which I could probably use. That sounds really great. So how do you warm up your prospective customers or clients? There are a lot of different ways to do that. Number one, I use Facebook groups. Facebook groups are up and coming way to engage with people and Amy's done some webinars on the difference between Facebook groups and Facebook pages. Totally different animal. So consider starting a Facebook group, even if you have an e-commerce store. There are many stores that are using it effectively to do customer service and create that raving fan that buys something and then continues to buy something because they're part of the community. Secondly is create an email series, email marketing. And that could be a whole separate what you need to do to create an effective email series. But create an email engagement series so people can get to know you. The overarching quality or element in engaging with people and taking them from a cold audience to a raving fan is you want to engage with them and create a bond between you and your potential customers and your clients, so they see you as an authority. If you're selling something, they see you as a provider of high quality products. And the way to do that is by interacting with them one-on-one as much as possible, and if not possible, through a Facebook group or webinars or email series or social media interaction, and in person if possible. I know it's kind of old-fashioned to meet in person, but that's the best way to engage with people. And as you're engaging, focus on providing them value. The number one mistake I see in the companies that I consult and the entrepreneurs that I work with is they're not giving value before asking for sale. You can create value for your prospects and your customers before you ask for the sale. It's like when you're trying to date somebody. If you go out on a first date and you go in for the kiss right away, you're not going to get in and you're warmed up your prospective boyfriend or girlfriend or husband and wife. You've got to give some value. You've got to talk and ask about them and find out what social media especially is a listening platform and an engagement platform. So it's important to engage with your leads on social media by giving them value. 95% of the time, go to make a sale, they know who you are and you're credible. Okay, so let's walk through a typical lead funnel. And if you're a member of my group, you've seen how this works, and you can go through it later. We'll put up the link. You can see how this works. So what we do for our lead funnel, it's a little bit with social media and Facebook ads. So we run Facebook ads. Actually, Amy runs Facebook ads for us, and they take us to a landing page. Favorite, that's what we use. There's also ClickFunnels and Unbounce and a couple of others, or you can create your own. And we take them to a landing page where we capture their email address. We also get them to that same page through social media. On Instagram, there's one place where you can provide a link, and that's in your bio. So all of the content that we provide in our Instagram account, and it's the same with Facebook, is giving value about what our company does, showing our personalities, showing who we are, and creating our authority. And then every once in a while, we'll ask them, we'll try to sell something, we'll tell them to go to that link. But the best way to get people onto your email list is creating that lead page, running an ad, and doing social media by putting out content, engaging with people, on Twitter talking to people one-on-one, and on Instagram sending direct messages one-on-one, commenting and liking people's posts. And it's really engaging as if they're real people, which they are real people. Social media is social. So don't make the mistake. Just content that people are going to click on your link in Instagram or on Twitter and go to your lead page. Provide value. Give them a reason to care about what you're providing them or what product or service you provide. So the first step is Facebook ad or social media where you're driving people to a lead page and asking them to opt into your list. On lead pages, there are a couple of different ways you can do this. You can create a page So it's just the entire page where you put content on about your company. Community of entrepreneurs, and I provide online training to the community. So my lead page community is, and we ask for their email address. And that's it. We don't ask for their middle name, the city, their phone number, the name of their cat, their favorite car, whatever, because the more fields you put, the lower your conversion rate will be, and fewer people will opt into that. So on your page, value, a video or an ebook or a list of the things that you can give them if they give you their email address. Don't make the mistake of just saying join my newsletter or join my list, because some people will, but the majority of people won't. So that's the first. The second is a pop-up. Pop-ups, and are appropriate in some situations. You should never have a pop-up on mobile because that drives people nuts. But on some pages, it's okay to have a pop-up and ask people to join your list if you provide something of value. So lead pages, if you use that, allows you to have a pop-up, but don't overuse pop-ups. And I'm going to show some stats here in a second about the rates for lead pages and opt-in rates. So there's some ways to calculate how much that's costing based on ad costs and your lead, your opt-in rates, etc. Or track, you want to know how much it costs you to acquire each new customer, and that's vital for the profitability of your business. If you're a fan of Shark Tank, like I am, we've got that here in the United States, and there are a couple around the world. There's one in Australia. I just found one in Italy. So whatever country you are in, I'd recommend checking out Shark Tank. There are a lot of things to learn from that. But one of the things I like is that the sharks always ask, how much does it cost you to acquire a customer? And if you don't know how much it costs you to acquire each customer, you ultimately don't know how much you're making on each of your products. So if it costs you $100 to acquire each customer, and you're selling a product for $50 and they're only buying once, then you are going to spend yourself into oblivion and have a hard time making any profit. So as you're setting up your lead funnel, track how much it costs for each of those leads. So far, does everything I've said make sense? Do you have any questions about what I've said before I share a couple of considerations for your lead funnel? Can everybody hear me okay? And does that make sense so far? I'm going to take a quick drink of water. Just give me a shout out and let me know that you can hear everything okay. Okay, so as you're tracking your cost per lead, also track your total lifetime client value. What that means is what the average purchase price of your products is times the number of products somebody buys from you over the lifetime of them being a customer. If you sell shoes on your website and the average sale of your shoes is $20, you might have some for $80, some for $5, but your average is $20, and the average customer buys one pair of shoes every 6 months, and they stay around for 2 years. Then they're buying 4 shoes at an average price of $20. 4 times 20 is 80. So the total lifetime client value is $80. So if you take that and put it into a formula, you need to spend less than $80 to get them as a client. As long as it's less than 80, you're making a profit. So don't get discouraged if you're running ads or you're spending money and it's costing you, say, $20 to acquire each customer. If you're making $80, then you're over time making a profit. So that's the correct way to establish your profitability per customer over time is taking the total client lifetime value, subtracting the cost per lead, and that will give you your profit over time. So a couple of points about a lead funnel to consider, which isn't directly relevant to a lead funnel, but it's important, is number one, the speed of your site is very important, something that we often overlook in e-commerce if we're not developers. A 1 second delay in a page response time of your page can result in a 7% reduction in conversions. So if you've got a slow site, whether you're selling something or you're trying to get somebody into your list, the slower your site, the fewer people are going to opt into that. And these are things you don't even notice. You don't even know because nobody's going to email you and say, your site is too slow, so I'm not going to buy anything from you. It's kind of a phantom lost revenue. So you need to make sure that you've got a quick site. Second, the image quality needs to be very, very crisp and clear and compelling. And all of the text, third, all of the text on the website needs to be written for engagement. Don't write it for SEO, write it for engagement. And make sure that each of your pages has a purpose. And I have a total separate webinar on my YouTube channel about conversion, so we're not going to go into that, but it's important. So a couple of quick tips about a landing page, or any page. Any page can be a landing page on your website. So I talked about creating a page using lead pages where you're doing an ad and you're sending them directly to that page. But a page on your website can be a landing page. A lot of websites have people coming to the website somewhere other than your front page, your home page, especially if you are an e-commerce company. Probably most of your traffic is coming through on a different page other than your home page. So make sure that that content on that is good and crisp, and you've got a call to action and a way to capture their email address. And you can find that out in Google Analytics. You can find out where people are coming to your site. Make each page as simple as possible. Consider that every page on your website could be a landing page. So consider using a video, because videos on landing pages can increase the conversion rate by up to 80%. And people love video. Facebook video and YouTube video are getting increasingly more popular. So consider doing more and more videos to get engagement and conversion rates on all of your pages, not just your landing pages. And then keep the pages as simple as possible. A landing page or your home page. A 20% increase in simplicity results in a 96% increase in customer loyalty. And the reason is they know what you do because you haven't cluttered their message. And it is an 86% increase in the likelihood to purchase and a 110% increase in the likelihood to recommend. So this is a huge benefit for getting people through your lead funnel. And consider making a lot of different lead pages. Are you guys already using using landing pages? Let me know in the chat if you're using landing pages, and if you are, how many you have. So in lead pages, one thing that I like is they allow you to see how the percentage of people that are opting into your lead pages. And my lead pages are about half of the people that see my page opt in. And I'm always trying to increase that. So you can monkey around with it, always be changing to try to increase the percentage of people that are going to opt in. So I want to show an example here. Let me share my screen. If I can switch gears here and show you a mistake that I often see in websites. I review a lot of websites, and they can always be improved. So tell me if you can see this screen share called the newsletter opt-in box. And this is something that I see on a lot of websites where it says, join my newsletter. And then there's a field for their first name and email. And there's no compelling text about why I should join this person's newsletter. It just says, join my newsletter, get the latest and greatest on new books, appearances. So pretty much what this is saying is, join my newsletter so I can sell you a bunch of my crap, which is not compelling to anybody. This person is not providing value. And then secondly, they're asking for the first name and the email address. I would just ask for the email address, because that's going to increase the number of people that are opting in to this newsletter. The more fields you have, the fewer people are going to opt in. And then this person has a whole bunch of social media shares on this, and nobody has shared it. So they kind of look like losers. Nobody has shared it. And who's going to share a newsletter opt-in box? Nobody. So make it very compelling and give somebody a reason to join your newsletter. Give them something for free. Ebooks are really popular. Give them a video. I get people to opt into my lead funnel by telling them, number one, you can get access to my private Facebook group, and number two, you get a 3-part video series about how to get more conversions on your website. So I'm giving them something of value and that they want, and then they're going to give me their email address. So just saying that you have a newsletter isn't going to get anybody to opt in to that newsletter. Okay, so let me just show you the stats on pop-in boxes while I'm here, that they may seem a little bit annoying, especially if you have them on all the pages. I wouldn't suggest that. But you can see here the conversion rate is about 40% of the people that go to my website are daily are opting in to using that pop-up box. Okay, so this slide is called the cult of personality. And the reason is in your lead funnel, your objective is to build your brand and build your personality. And that's the most important thing about is you want to make a connection with somebody. And you do that through a multiple of ways. You do that through you send them videos or emails. Don't make them sound corporate. Don't make them sound like he does a very good job of making it sound like her personality. Make them sound friendly. And possible because you want to be unique. You want to be different than everybody else. So write in your own voice and put pictures and videos as much as possible throughout. And if you've got an email engagement series, so your lead funnel, if it's like mine, is an ad or social media, taking them to a landing page, getting their email address, and then sending them an email or a series of emails. In each of those emails, ask a question. Welcome them to your newsletter or to your company, or thank them for buying, and then ask them one question. It doesn't really matter what it is, but the reason you want to ask them a question in every email is because you want to get people to engage with you. You want them to respond to the email. And about 10% of the people, in my experience, will write you back. And the reason why that's beneficial is because they're getting to know you. You're creating a one-on-one relationship. It's a misnomer that online you can just sell to the masses without connecting to people. You really want to connect with people, relationships that convert. So go deep in social media, not wide. It doesn't matter how many followers you have or how many likes you have. It matters who cares about you and who cares about your product. So build a community around social groups, forum, chats, in person, Snapchat, whatever it is. Build that community, and you may have to do it one at a time by getting on the phone with people or by direct messaging people on social media, but build that relationship one at a time and find out what people want, what they're struggling with. I call this the customer feedback loop. When they buy something from you, call them or email them and ask them what they think or how they found you. Getting close to your customers in your lead funnel or your prospective customers is the key to making more sales and increasing that customer lifetime value that I talked about. you're just selling something and it's a one-time sale and you never see them again, that means that you haven't created a strong enough bond with that customer that they care about you enough. And the longer you can get them to stay around, the more they'll care, and it's a feedback loop. The higher the customer lifetime value will be. And the reason why you want a community is because it builds that trust, it increases your cost per acquisition, and you can pre-launch and pre-sell things that aren't available to the public, and you give them kind of a behind the scenes look at what your business is. So I'm going to stop the screen share here for a second, and just so you can see me. So let me know so far. I'm going to wrap up with a couple of points and take some questions, because I know we like to get specific and talk about your questions now. We'll get to those in just a second. In your lead funnel, your email sequence or your videos or social media, the objective is you want them to feel like they're an insider. So open the kimono, as the Japanese said, and show them behind the scenes. If you have a product, show you make like, and anything that you can show that's behind the scenes that is not on your website, then you get people with you in social media. And then make sure that you're tracking not total number of viewers. Track or likes or follow how many people are actually engaging with you. So if you've got Google Analytics, track your bounce on your website. Track how long they stay on your website, because those website, and then always be testing and many good software sites that you can do A/B testing, whether color of your product or whatever it is. You can always be testing using something like Visual Website Optimizer to make sure that the message that you are sending to people is being received. And there are a lot of different feedback loops you can build into that, so you're getting as much feedback from your prospects as possible. So does anybody have any questions? I'd love to hear if this is resonating with you guys and how it can help with your business. Creating the lead funnel. I kind of went a little bit off topic talking about lead funnels, but I think it all ties in together, because there's no sense in creating a lead funnel where you're running Facebook ads and you're getting people onto your list if you're not really engaging with people. I think that's the most important part of a lead funnel, is creating engagement all along all of the steps of the lead funnel.
So I'm going to jump in here a second, Trajan, because you said something and it reminded me of something that you did that I thought was really cool. Trajan's a master at following up with people on his list and really engaging with people, whether they're in his community or just on his email list. So we did a webinar a couple weeks ago, maybe it was a couple months ago. It was the first webinar that we did. And after the webinar, Trajan sent out a personal email to everyone that attended the webinar just to get feedback, to see if it was a topic they were interested in, what they thought about the presentation. And I just thought that that was something that was really cool, because you don't see a lot of people doing that. And if I got that email, I would be really excited, right? Because it just shows that you actually care about your list and what people want and what they need.
Thanks, Amy. I love automation. I use Infusionsoft and I automate a lot of things, and I'm a big fan of that. But there are a lot of things you should not automate. You should not automate that one-on-one connection with people. And just because you've got an email series and Facebook ads and a lot of things that are automated doesn't mean that you shouldn't be engaging with people as much as possible and getting. So even when it's automated, I try to make that automated series engaging as possible, so people will write back to me or call me or email me. I put my phone number on a lot of things because I want to talk to people and find out how they like my products and how they like what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think that that's awesome. So, see, Deanna's got a question. She has a group page, but she's looking to create a fan page that will direct people to her sales page. Do you suggest using the boost option? Oh, for your leads to get my page out to more people. So if you're trying to convert people, if you're trying to get people signed up for something, I would create a conversion ad for that. That way you're optimizing for conversions and you're able to track exactly how many people you're getting signed up, and you know what you're spending per lead. And I'm going to share Trajan's link with you guys so you can check out his funnel. I'm going to pop it in here. Give you a good idea of how, so Trajan runs ads to this page to get them into his Facebook group. So they get a free video series, but then they also can join his Facebook community. So it's a really effective way if you have a Facebook group, I think, to help to build that group.
Yeah, and if only to see how it works, then go to that link and just see how email, and the confirmation is an invite to the Facebook group, and then you start getting the email series. The first email you'll get is a welcome email, and in bold letters it says, why did you join my list and what are you looking for? And I get 10% of the people writing me back just saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is my company, and instantly we have a connection and I can follow up with them. So and I'd love to have you in my group, but if nothing else, just see how that lead series, that lead funnel works. See how you can improve your lead funnel.
So we're almost out of time. So Trajan, I want you to mention briefly your summer school that you've got coming up.
Okay, great. So opening this week, I've got a 12-week class that we call Summer Growth School, which is a different topic every week, focused on companies, entrepreneurs, and startups, helping them grow their company. That's one of the biggest needs in my company is everybody in my community is everybody wants to grow their business. So how do you do that? So each of the 12 weeks, we take a different growth method. And one of the weeks, Amy's doing a webinar about Facebook ads. So we help you grow your business throughout the summer. And this is kind of a class to end all courses. We've got over 200 videos, and we have a live webinar every week, and a lot of personal engagement with me and with 6 other experts in their field. So there's a lot of content. We've kind of made it to be the end all be all of content. So we would love to have you join us. And Amy put up the link to summer school. It's not open for registration yet. It opens in a couple of days. But if you want to get early bird pricing, 25% off, then go opt into the list in the next day, and you'll get an email that will give you access to that.
Awesome. Yeah, I shared the link there, so you guys go check it out, sign up, and make sure you check out Trajan's opt-in page, because he's got a really great community. So if anything, I think you guys could pick up some good tips from the way Trajan has his set up. So we're out of time for today. So thank you so much, you guys, for joining us and for hanging out. We'll be back next Tuesday, so keep an eye on your inbox. I'll send out all the info on Tuesday so you can join us again. And thank you so much to Trajan for hanging out. I really appreciate you coming and hanging out with us today. It was fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. It's a pleasure, and your community is great. And I look forward to talking to anybody. If you have any questions, then hit me up anywhere on the social Unisphere.
Yeah, he's everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, all of it. You can find him. All right, great. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Yeah.